One of my favorite software features on the Nintendo Switch that's obviously brought over on the Nintendo Switch 2 now as well is game groups that you can create in your library to keep things organized, but I don't use it to keep things organized. I technically use it to make it easier to pull up certain games when friends are over. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can see here on the All Software tab on your Nintendo Switch, there's something at the top that says Groups if you hit the R button. And as you can see, we now have a bunch of different groups that we can create to organize our game library. And you can see what I've done on mine is I've created different categories for different multiplayer versions of what the Switch can offer. For example, here we have two-player local multiplayer stuff. So over here I have the two games that I currently have installed, which is Street Fighter 6 and Super Mario, because these are games that you can play with two players. If you keep scrolling over now, I have the four-player local multiplayer section. So these are all the games that you can play with four players local multiplayer. You can see here ARMS, you can see Super Mario World, Clubhouse, Mario Wonder, Big Brain, and Fast Fusion. Now, these are only games that have some sort of Switch patches or Switch editions, because that's the only thing I have installed on here. Then you have a category for camera play, so things that actually use the camera for the Nintendo Switch, that you can actually use it not just for game chat, but actually specific game features, of which two of them right now exist, which is Mario Kart World and Puyo Tetris 2S, as you can see here. And then you have Game Share Local, so that means that you can play these games by sharing it with other Switches around you, and they don't need to own a copy of the game, and they could be locally around your vicinity, and you can play these games together. And then you have Game Share Online, which is awesome, so you can share all of these games here online with other players. Even if they don't own a copy of the game, you can still play these games together, so that's a different version of Game Share that works online, which is awesome. And then, of course, you have local wireless, a staple for the Switch here, where you can go ahead and if everyone has a copy of the game, you can all play these games together on your own Switch and not have to share screens or do split screen or anything like that. So I personally really like this organization on the Switch because it lets me easily bring things up when I'm playing with certain people. If people are over my house trying to play local multiplayer games, hey, I could bring those up really easily. If we want to play a game share game that supports local, hey, I know exactly what those games are. Or if I'm making a YouTube video for you guys, I want to remember what games support which, and I'm making a top 10 list. This is an easy way to remember all the games that support it, and I keep adding things into them as games get released and as games get added to my library, which is super awesome. How do you guys use this feature?